With the transfer market closed, we thought it would be interesting to make a bigger comparison, not between teams, but between leagues.
Yeah.
So we're going to bring you a comparison, an economical comparison between the Liga and what we have spent as a tournament, and compare it to the Premier League and what they have spent as a tournament. The powerful teams, the not so powerful teams. So let's go with that.
Yeah, and we will see if the overwhelming economic power of the Premier League can stretch the difference between the Spanish team in the top class and in the middle class, like Sevilla and that teams.
Exactly. Let's say the total amount spent by the Premier League this year in this market was 1,410 million euros, which is a lot of money. And La Liga only spent maybe even a little bit less of a third than that. It's 498, not even 500 million, which is, I think, the first symptom of a big difference of the Premier League trying to throw money at a problem that is the Spanish domination of the recent years.
The number speak for itself, is triple. But as you were saying, Spanish teams have a style. They maybe do not have the best players in the world, or they can't retain many players that they would like to retain.
But you're talking now about the middle class.
Yeah, the middle class. But somehow they are able to continue with a competitive, being competitive.
Yeah, it's true. Let's see. Let's talk about the powerful teams first. All right, you can see here what Chelsea, Man City, and Man United spent in total is 480 million. Compared to what Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Atleti, to throw Atleti as one of the powerful teams already, 133 million. It's almost 25% of what they spent. I think in this case, what's very clear is these teams that have very good players and have been, they're not seeing their best days.
Yeah.
They're trying to throw money to break the domination from Real Madrid and Barcelona, and also from Atleti, having played, 2 of the last 3 Champions League finals and all.
What I see is that Barcelona, Real, and Atletico have a football brand.
Yes.
And City and United especially, and also Chelsea, lack of that football brand. They are bringing new managers
For a brand, you mean maybe a style?
Yeah, style. Yeah, absolutely.
A style of play.
City has been investing a ton of money for the past summers. They have done this summer too, but the main difference is that they have Guardiola. Guardiola, for many people, is a genius. I think he's a really good manager with a very clear style. And I'm sure that he's going to implement that style in City. And they are no longer going to look like a bunch of talented players without a plan.
I think it'll be interesting this year, and maybe, not necessarily this year because Man United won't be playing Champions League, but in the years to come, to see if this so much bigger of an investment actually causes, the Spanish domination to be kind of stopped by the English teams, kind of trying to go back to a better days.
What Manchester United cannot afford is missing the Champions League.
Yeah.
And I think that
that would be a total failure.
We've talked about Pogba's signing lot during the summer, and I think that the urge of Manchester United led them to make that transfer, which they paid. I think they overrate the price. Overpaid
for
Pogba.
Too much. Yeah. And another interesting thing is to compare the weaker teams, or let's say the low class of these leagues, and what they have spent and what they are able to spend to compete in the first division. So we'll see Hull City, Burnley, and Middlesbrough for a total of 69 million euros.
We're talking about the promoted teams in both.
The recently promoted teams in both leagues against Alaves, Leganés, and Osasuna, with a total of 11.5 million, which is almost 7 times as much.
Yeah.
And I think in this case, it does go to show that as a league, as you were saying, as a show, the Premier League is more powerful. And I think this is more or less proportionately the difference of what the Premiership receives for television rights compared to what La Liga receives for television rights.
Absolutely. I think that the Spanish league is the best football product. But as an entertainment product, the English managers of the league has solved better the product.
Yeah.
So I think that people who are in charge of the product in Spain should do better to take more money for these clubs. And I think that those numbers of the weak teams express the real drama of this difference between La Liga and the Premier League. Is that middle class team of the Premier League can steal players from the same teams in Spain.
And can retain their players against bigger teams.
Sevilla have won the last 3 Europa League, but they can't retain Krikoviak, Gameiro,
they don't have
those
the
kind of
economical
players.
power to make it.
Leicester have been able to retain Marez and Bardi. Because they can match the offers, I'm sure those players have during the summer.
And it's interesting because we're not talking about the prices of signings anymore, but it's the salaries that they can offer their players to make it more attractive for them to stay in the Premier League.
That's the point. That's the point. Arsenal stole Lucas Perez from Deportivo. Lucas Perez obviously has improved his football status, but he has also improved the money he is making.
It's a no-brainer. Well, we'll see again if in the coming years this spending of money can actually bring down the Spanish domination. We hope not.
Yeah, but
no, I mean, as long as Real Madrid dominates, I don't care what happens to Atleti and Barça.
I think that they've realized that they have a problem in managing. They are signing foreign talent for manage and to handle their business. You know, Pochettino is doing a good job in Tottenham.
Argentinians, Italians, Portuguese, Spanish.
Pochettino is developing players, putting the team in the Champions League. Guardiola is one of the best in the business. Mourinho too. Antonio Conte is having a quick impact in every team he has managed, either national team or a club. And I think that they've realized that they need a top management to take
make the best use of the good players they have.
And the wealth they have. You know, it's not about signing the best players, but the players you need and the style they are going to be productive.
So let's see what happens with this style. It surely will be interesting.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think, Galacticos. Did you find it interesting? What do you think is the main difference between the Premiership or the Premier League and La Liga? And leave us a comment below, give us a like and subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow.